On the Hobo road, I roam alone.
Welcome back, my paperback pioneers, my sidewalk-schooled scholars, my survival script scribblers of the sleepless sprawl. Hobo Yeti here, broadcasting from a questionably stable folding chair, wedged between a flickering streetlight and a shopping cart that's seen more philosophy than most libraries. And today I done a thing. I just self-published a book, Homeless Survival Handbook, now drifting out there in the digital wilds, currently posted up on lulu.com, that curious little corner of the internet where ideas put on boots and try their luck. And soon, very soon, it will start hitchhiking its way onto the bigger highways. Amazon, Apple Books, Google Play. This one is not theory, not polished advice from a swivel chair. It is road-tested, sleep-deprived, slightly sideways reality. What I am about to roll into next is the opening of the book itself. A little taste, a toe in the water, or maybe a boot in the puddle. Introduction. Welcome to the outside. Okay, so you're homeless, now what? First, pause, not to reflect, not to grow, just to confirm you're still a person and not a loose collection of nerves vibrating inside a coat. Take a breath. If it rattles on the way in, that's normal. That's your nervous system realizing it's been promoted to full-time threat assessment without asking for the job. If this is your last night indoors apartment, hotel, couch, car that smells like old fries and broken promises, you're probably running mental inventory like a cashier during a power outage. What you have, what you forgot, what you should have done differently, what you swear you'll fix later once things settle down, which is a cute idea you'll look back on fondly, like believing adulthood came with instructions. If you're already outside first night or first week in, that mental noise doesn't stop, it just gets meaner, louder, like a malfunctioning radio stuck between stations, alternating static, regret, and one very aggressive voice asking what the hell you think you're doing. Either way, welcome. This is orientation, not the inspirational kind with matching binders and name tags. This is the, here's where the exits are, here's what not to touch, and yes, that smell is permanent kind. This book isn't here to motivate you. It's here to stop you from spiraling long enough to make decisions that don't make tomorrow worse than today. Let's get one thing straight immediately. Homelessness is not a personality. It's not a moral verdict. It's not the universe tapping the mic and announcing you've failed the audition. It's a logistical collapse. Something broke faster than you could fix it, and gravity did the rest. Money ran out. Health cashed a check your body couldn't cover. A relationship imploded like a bad space launch. Rent decided it wanted to role play as a private jet payment. People don't end up homeless because they're stupid. They end up homeless because systems fail quietly. Then all at once, like a bridge that looked fine until the moment it didn't. Most people think homelessness looks a certain way. Loud, chaotic, obvious, someone yelling at clouds, arguing with ghosts, or dragging a cart that sounds like it's full of haunted cookware. That version exists, but it's not the whole picture, and it's not even the majority. There's a quieter population most people never clock. People who don't panhandle. People who don't want attention. People who blend into the background like human punctuation marks. Present, functional, and ignored. You probably didn't notice them before. I didn't. Turns out invisibility works incredibly well until you're the one wearing it and realize it comes with side effects. Expectation number one to kill early: homelessness is not instant chaos. It's not nonstop danger. It's not a cinematic disaster reel with dramatic lighting and a soundtrack. The real threat is quieter and more annoying. It's constant low-grade stress. It's having to think about everything because nothing is automatic anymore. Shelter isn't automatic. Safety isn't automatic. Rest isn't automatic. Your brain doesn't get to clock out. It stays on, like a smoke detector with a dying battery, chirping every few minutes, reminding you something's wrong and you're the one expected to fix it. That sounds terrifying, and sometimes it is, but it's also survivable. People do this every day. Some get out fast, some don't. Some collect scars like souvenirs. Some develop a sense of humor so dark it makes polite conversation feel like a hostage situation later. Another expectation worth throwing directly into traffic. This is not camping. If you've ever gone camping, erase that comparison immediately. Camping is voluntary discomfort with snacks and an end date. Homelessness is living. You don't rough it. You adapt. You build routines. You learn very quickly what matters and what absolutely does not. Romance dies fast out here, usually somewhere between the third bad night of sleep and the moment rain proves it has personal opinions about you specifically. Still, here's where the script breaks. You are not helpless, even on day one, especially on day one. Your awareness is about to spike like someone cranked the contrast knob on reality. Sounds get louder, movement gets suspicious, timing suddenly matters. Your brain starts running pattern recognition like it's been caffeinated against its will. This isn't paranoia, it's calibration. You're adjusting to thinner margins. It's exhausting if you fight it. It's useful if you respect it. You'll learn when to listen to that internal alarm and when to tell it to shut up so you can sleep without imagining a bear, a cop, and your landlord forming a task force. People also expect homelessness to mean total isolation or nonstop chaos with other people. Reality lands somewhere in between and smells like quiet tension. You'll be alone more than you're used to, even when surrounded by others. You'll see people in the same situation and keep your distance anyway. That's not cruelty. That's etiquette. Among the quiet homeless, there's an unspoken rule. Don't draw attention. Don't pry. Don't mess with someone else's system unless invited. It's not community center vibes. It's alternate universes running side by side where you might bump into a better version of yourself. But just as often, it's the one that makes you double check your pockets. If you're younger, here's a fact you may not believe yet. You're more likely to get out faster. Energy helps, health helps, flexibility helps. That doesn't mean it won't mess with you. It will. But it does mean this doesn't have to be the chapter where your life stalls permanently. If you're older, the math changes. Bodies stop negotiating kindly with gravity. Recovery takes longer. Distance matters more. Proximity matters more. You learn very quickly that just go farther out is advice given by people whose joints still work under warranty. This book will get into that later. For now, just know this. Your version of homelessness will not look like anyone else's, and comparing yourself to the loudest examples is a waste of limited mental bandwidth. Another myth to put down humanely: everyone homeless is broken beyond repair. Addiction, mental illness, violence, yes, all of that exists out here. But it's not universal, and it's not destiny. Plenty of people are sober, observant, and trying very hard not to slide. The danger isn't becoming one of them. The danger is believing you already are and acting accordingly. Here's something calming that almost nobody says. You do not have to solve homelessness today, or this week, or even this month. You only have to not make it worse right now. That's it. Survival mode isn't failure, it's containment, it's damage control, it's buying yourself time. And time out here is the only currency that never stops being useful. You'll hear a lot of moral noise. What you should do. What this says about you. What kind of person ends up here. Ignore it. Shame is expensive and you can't afford it. Pride can be expensive too. You'll learn when to keep it and when to set it down temporarily. This isn't about dignity theater. It's about staying functional long enough to make your next move without panicking yourself into a worse one. This book is written by someone who's done this before. Someone who knew what was coming this time and still paid for mistakes anyway, because experience doesn't grant immunity. Someone who lives quietly near cities, close enough to function but far enough to breathe. Someone who understands that survival isn't dramatic most days, it's just repetitive, tedious, and occasionally darkly funny in ways you cannot explain to people with keys and thermostats. That's why the humor is here. Not because this is funny, but because humor vents pressure. Gallows humor isn't denial, it's a pressure valve. It keeps the weight from settling on your chest at 3 a.m. and whispering worst-case scenarios like it's reading off a menu. So yes, this book will be useful. And yes, it will be blunt. And yes, it will occasionally say things in ways that feel wildly inappropriate. That's intentional. This is not motivational speaking. It's a field guide written by someone who already fell through the weak spots and would like you to avoid at least a few of them. Use this book like a manual. Don't read it straight through unless you want to. Flip to what you need, skip what doesn't apply, take what works, and ignore the rest. Cities change, rules change, circumstances change. Adapt aggressively. Most important of all, understand this. Being homeless does not mean you are broken, finished, or invisible, no matter how invisible it feels at night when the world is asleep and you're still negotiating with reality. You are in a hard season, not a permanent identity. You are learning logistics under stress, not being judged by the universe. Right now, your only job is to stay calm enough to think, alert enough to adapt, and functional enough to keep moving, even when your inner narrator sounds like it's building a case against you. You made it this far. That's not nothing. The next parts get more practical. Less talking, more doing. For now, keep it simple. Stay steady. Don't make tomorrow harder than it already is. You can grab the Homeless Survival Handbook through the link in the description. Right now it's available as an ebook on Lulu. If you'd rather listen than read, you can use the 11 Reader app, which will read it out loud for you. It gives you a couple of hours free each week, and after that, it's pretty affordable. I hope your road is a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. And remember, if something feels too easy out here, you've probably missed something important. Peace.